Hi, it's Bill Koenig for Straight Circle Martial Arts, and this is how to end stand-up grappling fight quick. So, a lot of times we get a lot of wrestlers in life, people who grab. And what I find is two ways of training. I find guys who do a lot of soft stuff, which is great for teaching body mechanics and movement. Those guys often really struggle against people who are strong and tight because they're not just going to go with you like that. Then you get the second set of guys who are really muscular and strong and young, and they come in and they're trying to throw you and chuck you, and that works really good when you're young and strong. That's what it is. It doesn't work so good for me. I can't tell you how many years, over the years, how many times I've been with younger, stronger guys and I pulled muscles in my back, or I tweaked something out of position because I just over tensed and I flexed something. Not my cup of tea. Also, the problem with that is you see that a lot of time in sport fighting, and you watch these guys do this, it's wonderful to watch, but you see it go on for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Do you have 4 minutes in a fight to go on with this? Are you in that kind of shape? I would think most people as they get older are not. So when you're dealing with this, you don't want this to go on for a long period of time. You gotta make this quick. So let me give you some tips how to end this fight a little faster. So he grabs on like this, right? This is his point of strength. See how his shoulders are straightened up and his chest is this way, and this is where he's strong. I'm always a big fan of doing this. I always want to turn. If you can see, I'll move and I'll turn. Even when they're tight, you'll get a little bit of turn out of them. It might not be dramatic where he goes all the way, but if you can just shock him a little bit, it's important. Also, what you notice when I do it is I like to go to the side a little bit. The reason I like to go to the side is that often allows me to get behind them, go to the side of them where I want to be. A lot of people, they have this tough ass mentality where we're going to wrestle like this. And not really. I want to get around him, and I want to get to a position to where I can work. The other thing you have to learn to do is, this is a fight. You're not wrestling. This is not a competition. You're there to survive. You have to learn how to strike inside. I was telling my nephew the other day, he was watching UFC, and these two girls are on the ground, and they're tight like this, and she's punching like this, and he's like, why don't you just deck them? And I go, you know how hard it is to hit somebody when you're being held? If he grabs on to me really tight like this, do I have room to make those punches? I don't. So how do you strike inside to make this setup a little better? The deal is number one, you have to relax. Now, fine line. If you become spaghetti guy and relax and he starts throwing me around, I'm in trouble. On the other hand, every time you tense up, you can't hit him. So what you have to find is that middle ground. So if he grabs hard, what I want to do is I want to be flexible in the body, but stable enough to where he can't knock me down. Now you're not going to get those nice, clean, hard punches like this. What you are going to get are shots inside that are nastier, that are simpler and smaller. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to hit him in the neck, or I'm going to come in and hit him in the groin, right? Or maybe I could stick a knuckle in there, or I could pop him. What you'll find, people make fun of kata a lot. You get all these small little motions inside and things that do this. Well, they don't work in a fist fight in boxing. You're not wrong. They're not meant to do that. Where these things apply is where I can use them, inside when he's muscling the crap out of me. Now look, see how's my arm? Most people, what they do is they tense up and they try to break with this. Why? I have full movement in my shoulders and my legs. And I have full movement here, which allows me to come in and hit things. I want to drive into those arteries. I want to go into those eyes. I want to rip onto ears. I want to hit groins. You want to pop them a little bit so that you can set and pop, take down. Everything you learn in traditional martial arts somewhere has value if you understand where to use it. So he comes in and we're wrestling, and there's that's how I get these shots off. We're tight, I don't have the punches, but I get this, and that allows me to come in right away and come into my work. He starts grabbing me tight, right? I have a punch here because look, he doesn't have my arm. Now I can hit him this way, or this way. If he's grabbing tight and he has my arms, sometimes I have to relax. Now see, I'm trying to turn him all the time. As I turn him, I use my feet, and I'm trying to hit things, or reel on things. take things, hit them. You have to continue to shift him and punish him. Otherwise, it's who can out wrestle who. And I'm not trying to wrestle because I want to go home. I would say how you learn this is you have to learn it slow. Because if two things, it'll get wild and sloppy and you'll hurt yourself. And once you start developing a little technique, you'll hurt them. Now, when you're with partners that you've done it for a while and you can pick up real heavy pace, it's fine. But start out easy. And by easy, what I mean is let them grab you. Now, the problem with this is in every karate school. Guy goes like this, we go, hi-ya, 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 you know, but he's not moving. You know, nobody comes up to you, grabs you, and stops. People are shifting you around, they're trying to hit you, they're trying to take you down, they're trying to throw you. And it's much harder when you're getting bounced around. So how you start is you let them grab. And then what you want them to do is you want them to start moving. So you start studying, number one, how you keep your balance. Start shifting. Right? You got to see, and then he works into a headlock or something. You got to see how you move. And continually, as he grabs, you want to just get comfortable with the idea of how do I do this. Now, when he starts doing it later, you start doing it. You got to start learning how to feel, how to shift him, how to move him a little bit, how to take him in these directions. Every time he grabs, right, how do I come off and play and let him grab you and get comfortable with it. And all the time as he grabs harder, you know, you see how you can practice with this stuff. And he just goes, and you're always in movement. Then, as you get better, do this slow. As you do it, you start adding these things in. So as he comes in, all the time, bang, you want to hit him low, pop things, come around, hit inside things, you know, get a hold of things. All the time, get used to the idea of how do I hit it? How do I break things? So as he practices, see how I go into the neck? There's my shot low. One, down. I wouldn't recommend you start at that pace. What you should do is start where you can practice this and see where things are available first. Right? How do I find these are available? Study those inside shots all the time. So sometimes what you do is you let him grab and you start playing around with just off balancing. So every time he grabs, you try and off balance and you move. You're always playing with how do I shift him. And then eventually give yourself practice on hitting. So he comes in, I have to relax here, right? I have to move. There's my shot low. There's my shot low. Back in. He comes in, there's my shot up. My fingers. And what you'll find over time is everything that you learned your whole time in martial arts. These short strikes, these arm locks, joint locks, you know, bumps with the legs, you know, shifting people and moving, taking them down, and hitting them, all come together. But keep that in mind. Individually work them. Sometimes you let them grab you and you work joint locks. Sometimes you work, you know, off balancing. Sometimes you work hits. Sometimes you work legs. And then inevitably and gradually, you want to add them all together. And then you'll start learning how to fight inside. It's a process. You don't just learn this all in one day. You have to take them individually for years, one at a time until you get the feel for them. And then once you start getting good with them, you have to give yourself permission to add them together. As a partner who's feeding, it's important that you give them the level they're ready for. If they are new, do not mangle them. It's just panic. They don't know what to do. You have to go slow so that they can understand how to feel these things so so they can feel where they belong. You know, you don't start out 0 to 60. You got to start out really gradual. And as a partner, what you do is when you feel like they've had enough or they're getting better, you add a little more. And then you add a little more. And then eventually you get to the point where it gets really physical and ugly and people are taking each other down, and that's great. But remember, this is a progression over time. We're so impatient as a society. We think you're going to learn all this in 5 minutes. No, it's taken me years and years and years to get this down. So take your time, break them into little parts. Work with partners that will actually help you, not destroy you. And eventually you'll start adding all this together, and you'll find all your martial arts come together in one. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments and ask questions. Thank you again. It really helps my channel grow.